you doing your homework like I asked you to?
Yeah, Dad, I'm doing it right now. Get started on these fraction problems. Number 1, 1/4 plus 2/4. Okay, adding is fairly simple. Okay, for this problem, the two denominators are the same, so we don't need to change anything there. So we simply just add across. And that would be 3/4. Fairly simple. Here's another adding decimal problem. But in this case, the denominators are different. So we need to do something about that. Find a common denominator. Let's say 21. That's an easy one. Okay. Now, since we divided 7 times 3, we need to divide 1 times 3. And then, since we divided 3 times 7, we need to do 2 times 7, which is 14. Now you just simply add across. And that equals 1721 over 21. Now, you simplify if necessary, but in this case, we cannot simplify. So that is your answer. Now for subtracting. Subtracting is fairly like addition. So the two denominators are the same, so we don't need to do anything about those. Then we simply just subtract across. 7 minus 2 is obviously 5. And 5/8 is your answer. Okay, now dividing is probably hardest of all, but there's 3 simple steps that make it easier. Keep, switch, flip. Here's what it means. You keep the first number. You switch the division sign to a multiplication sign. And then you flip the last number, meaning you put the 8 as the denominator and 10 as the numerator. Okay, so let's rewrite it. We keep the 5/9. We switch the division symbol. And we flip the last number. Okay. And now we simply just multiply across. So 5 times 10 is 50. And then 9 times 8 is 72. Okay, now we have 50 over 72, but that's not simplified. So now let's simplify it. Okay, so 50 over 72 simplified is 25 over 36. Now, this is pretty much as simple as it's going to get. That's your answer. Okay, now for some multiplication. Multiplication, surprisingly, is the easiest to do with fractions. There's no common denominators, there's no steps, there's nothing like that. It's just simplifying, really. Okay. Now, we have our problem. But then, we can make this problem a whole lot easier if we want. by simplifying. Okay, now simplifying, you can't go across or up and down, meaning I couldn't take a number, let's say that 5 is a 10, I couldn't take 10 divided by 2 and then 6 divided by 2. I have to go across as the multiplication symbol does. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Those work, and they're going across, like the multiplication symbol. And now we just saved ourselves a lot of time and work. See, if we wouldn't have done that, we would have had to simplify. So now, we're going to do 3 times 5, and then 7 times 4. And that is 15 over 28. Now, that's already simplified. We can't simplify that anymore. But wait a minute. 15 28ths is less than 6 sevenths, and it's less than 5 eighths. Why is that?
How are you doing, son?
I'm doing good, Dad, but I don't understand. When I'm multiplying a fraction, the product of it is smaller than both of the fractions that I multiplied. Why is that? Well, son, you are dealing with two numbers that are less than 1.
I mean, think about it. You're dividing two things that are less than 1. So the product would end up being less. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah, I kind of get it now. Yeah, that makes sense. Just holler if you need anything else.
Oh my gosh, finally I'm done! Yo.
Phenomena.